Okay, so here we go with another DC Multiverse unboxing. And this is Robin. It is Robin from DC versus Vampires. It is a Damian Wayne Robin, and he apparently is a vampire because he got a mouth full of teeth there. Either that or like Bruce Wayne is going to have to spend a ton of money on braces. So yeah, he's probably at least partially a vampire. He's got red eyes. You can see some artwork on the back here. It looks to me like Humberto Ramos. I could be wrong about that, but it does definitely look kind of like his style. I don't see a signature or anything on it. It looks almost like it was a panel they cut out of a comic book. Now, Humberto Ramos, in addition to various work he's done for Marvel and DC over the years, I believe he did his own independent comic, like Image put it out or something, that was about vampires. So it wouldn't be anything he'd be a stranger to. Let's put it that way. So and he does kind of specialize in teen characters. So I kind of feel like Robin as a vampire would be like right up his alley. But the weird thing is, I haven't read the DC versus Vampires comic, so I don't really know a whole lot about it. But the figures that I've seen that have been vampires in this line that they've done from DC versus Vampires, they usually have like a grayish skin tone or a whitish skin tone, and he's pretty darn Caucasian. In fact, he's got a darker, warmer skin tone than that Hush Superman figure that I was complaining about. I would have made that be the skin color of a vampire personally. That's just me. Or a zombie or something. It does not look like a human skin tone. Apologies to anybody who has that skin tone. Maybe go outside and get some sun every once, build up some of that melanin. I know white people ain't got a lot of melanin, but at least a little bit. So yeah, nice piece of artwork there. Not a whole lot else to say about the package. There's no cross-sell artwork or anything. We've talked about the Mcfarlane action figure packages before and how I just find them kind of bland. So why waste any more time on it? Go ahead and open it up. And of course, it's got the same kind of artwork on the insert that we've seen before with all the classic comic book covers. Although the funny thing is, like most of the Mcfarlane stuff has been more modern, and it's only recently they've started to get into doing like more classic characters and Golden Age stuff. So like I've got an Alan Scott Green Lantern now and a Jay Garrick Flash, and I'm hoping to get more Golden Age stuff. I know they've got the Spectre coming out, which is a character I would have been really excited about, but for whatever reason they decided to make that one an exclusive on their website, and it's really expensive. So guess I'm not getting that one. So let's go ahead and read the back of the trading card. There's the trading card. Of course, it's got the same piece of artwork on the back as the cross-sell artwork, and I like that. I like having artwork on the trading card, and that seems to be kind of what's become the standard for Mcfarlane. Oh, we might as well, while we're at it, get the figure stand out. He's got the standard Mcfarlane DC figure stand. Every figure should come with a figure stand, and you can see it's mostly matte black with a slightly glossy or a very glossy DC logo kind of. Yeah, it's not as glossy as I've seen before, but got a DC logo on there, so you know it belongs to a DC character. So let's go ahead and read the trading card. Okay, Robin DC versus Vampires. Real name Damian Wayne. They misspelled Damian Wayne. They spelled it Damien or IEN. Sorry, and it's supposed to be Damian. The way that I know that is when they did that Damian Wayne Son of Batman comic, and they had Damian's name on there. Like I noticed that like it when it fits into the Batman font, like the M and the A and the N are all lined up in the same order. So it's got that I in between it. So it kind of so that's how I remember that Damian. And it has an A instead of an E before the N because just like Batman, Damian. So there we go. That's how we remember that. That's my mnemonic for remembering how to spell Damian correctly, which Mcfarlane did not do. I got so distracted by that I didn't even read the package or read the bio on the back of the trading card. So let's go ahead and read that. Real name Damian Wayne, from Orphan Circus. I can't talk. From Orphan Circus Acrobat. No, I kind of subconsciously said acrobat. It actually says Daredevil. Okay. From Orphan Circus Daredevil Dick Grayson to troubled teen Jason Todd to the overachieving Tim Drake, the mask of Robin is now worn by Bruce Wayne's own son, Damian. It's spelled correctly in the actual write-up. It's just spelled incorrectly at the top of the card. So there's not even consistency there. You guys need to hire a proofreader. That's what you need to do to proofread these trading cards. A rebellious troublemaker who's been trained by assassins since birth with a lethal skill set and a marginal sense of mercy, Robin no longer needs Batman to protect him from criminals. Yeah, that's how he wound up getting killed, I guess. And he got better, though. The funny thing about this is it's a DC versus vampires figure, and he's clearly a vampire. So how did that happen? You would think they would explain that in the bio, but they don't. The bios on these cards confuse me so much because of stuff like that. It really just baffles me how much stuff that they don't put in these bios. So I guess I'll have to read the comic book to figure out what the deal is with him being a vampire. And again, like I said, he's got like a normal human skin tone. He doesn't have like vampire skin tone, and that's clearly how he's illustrated in the comic too. So that wasn't a stylistic choice of the action figure. That was what he looked like in the comic. They were just being accurate to what's in the comic. Is he a daywalker? Like, seriously, what's the deal? Is he like just half vampire? Like a Dompier maybe? Anyway, let's go ahead and open him up. And he's got the newer, even more annoying double plastic tabs. It's like, hey, you know what's worse than one plastic tab? 2 plastic tabs. That's what they did with that, and that's the only one I see, thankfully. So let's go ahead and get these accessories out of here. And he comes with this this sword, which is kind of a ninja type sword. So it makes sense for him. Damian's often shown as using a katana, so that's cool. And then he also has a wooden stake for killing vampires. So maybe he is a daywalker. I don't know. And let's see what else we got. We got some extra hands. So here we got kind of an open hand. There's a bunch of extra hands. And here we have a hand that is a closed fist. And here we have a hand that's pointing. It's a left hand. And then one more left hand for gripping. And then Damian himself, let's go ahead and get him out of here. So Damian was the son of Talia and Bruce Wayne. So he is the biological son of Bruce Wayne. Every other Robin has been like, Bruce Wayne's ward or adopted son or something like that. Damian is actually his biological son. He's a little brat. Now that we got him out of the package, let's have a better look at that head sculpt. And man, that is a gnarly looking head sculpt. It's got some good detail to it. What I'm going to do with this is I'm probably going to make him an alternate head that is a human head. So I don't just have a vampire Damian Wayne. He can be a human Damian Wayne too. Damian Wayne, sorry. So that way, I can have like different looks for him. I think it would have been cool if they had given him a human head with the figure, but no, he's fixing at the vampire head, and it's a really good sculpt. I really like the sculpt. He looks nice and scary, like about the way you'd imagine a vampire Robin would look. I kind of wonder if maybe they might have reused this from one of those Robins Who Laughs. I don't know. I tend to avoid Batman Who Laughs stuff on general principle. But I do know that they did make some figures based on the Robin Who Laughs, whatever. So he's got like a black cowl that goes around his shoulders. So underneath the cape, in between the cape and the jerkin, I'm not sure if that's actually supposed to be like a separate piece from the cape, or if it's just like an extension of the cape that goes underneath it. Maybe it's something kind of armor-ish. It's probably going to hinder his articulation a little bit, since it does seem like it's glued down to the torso. But let's go ahead and talk about his articulation while I'm at it. So looks like his arms go up about that far, and like I said, they are kind of slightly hindered by the shoulder piece. But it is a soft rubber, so it does have a little bit of give to it. He can move his arm up about that far. Technically, it could rotate all the way around, but of course, with the rubber piece in the way, that kind of interferes with it a little bit. So, and he does have the butterfly joints, but again, the rubber piece kind of interferes with it a little bit. But I bet, let's go ahead and swap out his left hand for a gripping hand, and I bet we can get a good two-handed sword grip out of it. I'm not going to pop it on all the way because I want to pop some of these other hands on there and see what it looks like. Let me get the sword into his hand. And the sword does have like a little bit of pliability to it, but it's not as flooby as some of the other Mcfarlane bladed weapons that I've had, where they're just like ridiculously soft rubber. And there we go. And yeah, he looks pretty cool with the sword. Ready to hack up some vampires. And then we got the wooden stake. So we can go ahead and put the wooden stake in this hand. And it fits in there kind of loosely. You can see it kind of wobbling around because it's not in there quite as tight as you might like it to be. I'm going to put one of the other hands on here now. So it was the solid fist hand on there, and then I put the gripping hand on there. And then he's also got this open hand. That goes on the right hand. So I'm probably not going to fool around with it right now. And then the pointing hand. I like this one too. This one kind of tight fit, getting that on there. But that seems like it's a good hand for Damian to have. He's just kind of like yeah, whatever. Oh, look what else we can do. Oh, this is going to be funny. Durr. Durr. That would be the thumbnail. Durr. Oh, I'm way too amused by that. That's pretty funny. Oh, man. So, yeah, this is a good figure. I'm happy to have it. Let's see, where was the... He's got some little darts on his gloves, like Mickey Mouse. I'm going to put the gripping hand back on there. That's probably going to be the one I leave on there. So, and it does have like this little wrist piece on there. That's going to kind of hinder the articulation a little bit, but I think it looks good, so I don't really mind too much. But you can still get a good range of motion out of those wrists. They do still rotate all the way around, obviously, but it's really more the whole ball jointedness of it is kind of gummed up by having that extra little piece from the glove on there. Speaking of articulation, let's go back to talking about that. So he's got like this soft rubber piece. His whole jerkin is this soft rubber piece, and it does kind of hinder the articulation a little bit. but not a horrible amount. I think you can still get like a decent amount of articulation out of the torso, but not as good as your typical Mcfarlane figure, unfortunately. So you can do the splits no problem though. So that's always a plus. Leg moves up about that far, so it's not too hindered by the tail of the jerkin. So I got this figure at Walmart. I think it's a Walmart exclusive, along with Owlman. I also have Owlman, so I'll have him to open up soon. So if you're looking for him, I'd suggest check your local Walmart. There seems to be plenty of them, at least in my area. So, but get them while they're hot. These Mcfarlane figures, they can sell out pretty quickly sometimes. So there's the double joint knees, got good range of articulation on the knees. I kind of skipped past the elbows, but he's got good range of articulation at the elbows too. So we can go back to that. Got a little distracted by the whole the whole alternate hand thing. That lower knee joint though, that's pretty tight. It's got that kind of ratchet thing going on. And then he's got ball jointed ankles, but much like with the gloves, there's kind of like he's wearing these high top sneakers, and those kind of interfere, I think, a little bit with the articulation. Not as much as you might think, but still a little bit. And then he's got the toe articulation because they're showing off. Does not seem to be a boot cut, even though like they probably could have put a boot cut right where that strap is there, but they probably just didn't think about it. So his articulation, while good articulation, is not quite up to par, I think, with your typical Mcfarlane figure. Now, I'm pretty sure this figure is mostly a repaint of a recent Damian figure that they'd made where he was wearing the gray Robin suit. But I don't really like that gray Robin suit. I like for my Robin to be in, red, green, and yellow, like traditionally Robin is supposed to be in. But yeah, so they did this. I'm pretty sure this is just a straight up repaint of that, and I think it looks a lot better. I think this suit actually looks really good in the traditional Robin colors, so that's nice. So yeah, and I'm probably gonna make him an alternate head so that I can have like just kind of a default Damian Wayne Robin head. So like, although I do really like the facial expression that fits the character. Maybe I'll just buy another one of these and kind of trim down the teeth a little bit, repaint the eyes to be white, and call it a day. He could still just be yelling at people, be being a little brat. All right, so we already saw Damian next to Tim Drake Robin, my personal favorite Robin costume. So get to see those two together. They look pretty good. Man, if I had thought about it, I got Carrie Kelly too. We could have seen him next to Carrie Kelly. So I'll try to remember to do that later and take some pictures for like the community post. And here he is with the cinematic Robin, Chris O'Donnell, who looks more like Nightwing than he does Robin, but whatever. Still a Robin figure that I have handy. And speaking of Nightwing, here he is with Nightwing. And these two have a nice relationship where he like really looks up to Dick as an older brother. Of course, when Dick was temporarily Batman, Damian was his Robin. So there's always going to be that connection between these two. The scaling is really good on this. I've noticed a lot of times Damian figures just seem a little too tall. And this one maybe even is a little too tall for how I like to think of Damian. But if you think about like the Spin Master Damian figures, those come up a lot taller. Let's see him next to Batman, because I do have my Nightfall Batman, my personal favorite Mcfarlane Batman, and you can see that like he is a good bit taller than Damian at least, so that's nice. So I feel like this probably isn't the most appropriate Batman to have for Damian though, because this is more of a 1970 through 1994 kind of Batman. And this is very much of a 2008 was when Damian came out. So yeah, he's definitely a character of the aughts to the present. So, but they still look good together, I think. Damian does still have a fairly brightly colored costume that I think works well with the blue and the gray. So they look good together. So he's definitely worth picking up. He's a cool little figure. Like especially I think once I make him like a more default kind of head, I think that would be a good Robin to stand with the rest of my Bat family. And of course, I really like this vampire head, so I would definitely want to keep that and have him wear it sometimes. I might even just buy a second one, and he's not too expensive right now. I might just go ahead and buy a second one and just keep one with the vampire head and print him on a new head for to be regular Damian. So, but yeah, I haven't read this comic, so I don't even know if it's like an Elseworlds kind of thing, or if it's just a storyline that like takes place in the standard DC universe. I don't really read new comics anymore. They've just done too much weird stuff with comics. I just can't deal with it anymore. Like I was really enjoying the Rebirth era stuff, and I really liked the Superman family, like with Jonathan Kent and all that stuff. And then they did this weird thing where like he got kidnapped, and they didn't get him back until like he was like there was a time skip for him, so he was like now in like his early 20s, and then they had him become Superman, and Clark Kent was like off on some gladiator world or something. Like I don't know, it was just this whole weird thing, and I just wasn't really into that at all. I really think they could have gotten a lot more mileage out of like the Jonathan Kent as a kid, but they kind of ruined that. And I actually really liked the chemistry between him and Damian Wayne, because they became best friends. But now it'd be weird if they were best friends, because Damian's still like 13, and Jonathan's now a guy in his 20s. So weird. weird. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this figure. Let me know what you think about Damian Wayne. He's, I think, still kind of a controversial figure as far as Batman characters go. Some people don't like him because he's like this annoying, bratty character, and I'm just kind of like, that's not a bug, it's a feature. So I'm pretty sure you're supposed to find him annoying and bratty. So he's doing his job. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.